Truth podcast. I'm your host, Denise. What's up, man? We back. We made it. So for those of you that was able to tap in and join us on Tuesday's episode, our episode topic was womanizers and man eaters slash gold diggers. Okay. And I made the adjustments and everything for the previous episode. So y'all can go back and watch that then. This is a continuation of the conversation because I felt like when I wrapped up on Tuesday's episode, it was people still coming in and they didn't get a chance to comment or voice their opinion on the topic. So I thought I'd continue the conversation tonight with the same topic. Womanizers and man eaters slash gold diggers. I know that's a lot to take in, but bear with me. Hopefully y'all done had a chance to watch the previous episode on Tuesday. That is on my YouTube, my Facebook, and my Instagram, I believe, and my TikTok. So make sure y'all check that out. But yeah, I think we talked a lot about womanizers, and that would be like the male perspective or end of it. But I don't think we really touched on a lot about the gold digger, man eaters side of things. So when I do episodes like this that warrants like for us to discuss both genders, I want to make sure that the conversation is well rounded. Tom, how you doing? Welcome. I want to make sure that the conversation is well rounded and it don't seem sexist on one end or the other, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there before I even start the conversation. Um, Man eaters and gold diggers. Okay, I'm going to start this conversation off with more of the woman's aspect because at the end of the last episode, one of my good friends was my guest. He touched on from a man's perspective. So now I'm going to touch more on from a woman's perspective, okay? Man eaters and gold diggers. I feel like a lot of those women who possess those type of characteristics is something underneath that. It's rooted in something. Okay, I'm a firm believer that when stuff happen with people, when they start moving a certain way, when they start exuding certain characteristics, that is rooted in something else. It's not just the way they moving. Does that make sense? So hopefully, oh, my light is really acting up tonight. I'm so sorry, y'all. But anyway, it's rooted in something. Whether it be some type of childhood trauma or experience they had with a man or a relationship or something, it's rooted in something. They didn't just wake up one day and was like, you know what, I'm gonna go after men and all I want is whatever they can offer me or do for me. It didn't start like that. I promise you it didn't start like that. Come on, light, don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. Okay. It's rooted in something. Whether it be an abusive relationship or experience or something, it's rooted in stuff. People's behavior don't just happen. Okay? It's not like I said, they don't wake up and decide like, hey, I just want to be this way. No, it is the result of something that they went through. Whether it was a difficult relationship that led to a heartbreak or dishonesty or something like that, it's all rooted in something. Like, nobody does nothing for nothing. Does that make sense? So I'm just giving y'all a little background on what we talking about. Behaviors. Behaviors that warrant women to chase or go after or pursue men in hopes of trips, money, houses, cars, jewelry. I mean, you name it. I done seen it all. I'm not really surprised by much. Okay. But then I also think that we also need to touch on the flip side of that, on why that is. Why do women actually do the things that they do. Okay. Again, I started out the conversation with saying that that's rooted in something. Maybe it's they have daddy trauma or issues. A lot of us have issues with respect to our parents, okay? I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just simply saying that some of this stuff is rooted in either the lack of a relationship between a father and a daughter, or perhaps a mother and a son, or vice versa. A father and a daughter, and a mother and a son. Sometimes those relationships be non-existent. So they didn't really have a example of what it is that's healthy or right versus what's wrong. It's almost like they was winging it. I can relate to that because I did a lot of that in my 20s. I was just winging it. I had no idea. Even if somebody was trying to tell me, I was just bent on trying to figure out for myself. I didn't want to hear what nobody had to say. I was wanting to experience life, you know. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's like that. So I said that to say that they're not, these characteristics and these traits did not just come from nowhere. They rooted in something that they've been through. So I say that to say that am I okay with it? Absolutely not. Let me just start by saying that no, I don't agree with it. Hey, listen. If you foolish enough to let somebody run game on you to the point where it costs you something financially or whatever, then you know there's something deeper going on with you. That you felt like that's the only way you could show up for somebody or get their attention. These is all psychological things that we all need to stop and think about when we start talking about people's decisions and choices versus the stuff that they into. Okay, this is not by chance. None of this stuff is happening by chance. People ain't just waking up deciding that they want to do this and do that. No. It's a pattern. It's a chain of events that led to them deciding that this was how they was gonna operate. Okay, I don't want to say the way that they gonna be. I like to say the way they gonna operate. And the reason I say that is because it's all being fueled by something that happened to them. Okay, so let's just clear that up off the rip. It, they don't want to be this way, but they feel like something somebody did to them caused them to start moving a certain way. Okay, I'm not excusing their behavior. I'm just simply putting out the facts out here. When people start moving and doing crazy stuff, you have to wonder what went on. Like something happened. It's either they triggered by something or something happened that changed the trajectory of their mindset and their thought process. And translate that started changing the way they was moving. Okay? So now we talking about man eaters and gold diggers. I feel like gold diggers, more than likely, their habits and their characteristic traits is rooted in father trauma. Okay, I don't feel like no woman was born to just be on some trash with a man. No, a lot of times if you stop and you start talking to women who suffer or who would consider themselves a man eater, a gold digger. Because you got some women out here that is so straightforward, and they'll tell you like, yeah, that's what it is. I don't care how nobody feel. That's who I am. I think we have to be careful when we start talking about that's who we are, because a lot of times that's just the way we choosing to be. It's not who we are. It's the way we choosing to be. So we need to be able to dissect or divide and know the difference. Okay? Because some people will say, no, that ain't true. No, that's true. That's true. Something happened. Whether it was, hey, their father wasn't there for them, or maybe they suffer from some type of sexual or some type of physical abuse. It's something. It's something that made them start looking at men as not just men and humans, but as a target. Okay, because so that's what we talking about. We talking about the ways in which they going about when it come to men. Okay, they choosing this behavior. It's not who they want to be. They choosing this behavior. I met a man. My only concern is how much he make at work. What kind of car he driving? how much he got in his bank account, where he live. Like, it's certain little things that you see if you just sit and pay attention, or you conversate with these kind of women. They will tell you. They will flat out tell you out their own mouth. Like, yeah, this is what I care about. This is what I'm into. You have to pay attention. You know, this is why it's important for you to see a woman in more than one perspective, if that makes any sense. You can't just see them through the lenses of one view. You got to be able to be well-rounded, like all the way around the box with a woman, so you be able to see for yourself. Not what somebody told you she was. No, so you can see for yourself if this is the type of things that she into. A lot of women that's man eaters and gold diggers, they will only try to pursue what they consider successful men. And what I mean by that, maybe they work at a Fortune 500 company or something. Fortune 500, I'm sorry, Fortune 500 company. And you like, how? How is she meeting these men? You got so many apps and so many entities now that it's not hard for a woman to meet a man that she considers successful. Successful meaning like he has his own property, he has his own vehicle, he's successful at his job. If he got any kids, he taking care. I mean, it's different levels to success. But if you pay attention to gold diggers and man eating women, they have a checklist about the men that they pursue. It's not by chance. They got a checklist that they go through where it's like, oh, okay, and you'll know they'll tell you, because when they meet what's considered a normal regular man, they're not attracted to them for whatever reason. They're not attracted to them at all. They don't want to be bothered with them. And that is a red flag for you to know, like, oh, okay, she only around for this, this, and this. But on the flip side of that, you have men out here who use their money and they power or authority at whatever position they play at work, or they carry that home. And then they use those same things that women do when they coming after men. They use those same tactics against a woman. Don't you be fooled to think that this is just one way. No, it's not just one way. It's not. Because my guest on Tuesday's episode, he talked about it. He talked about how it's harder for people who that's all they after to gain control over certain people now, because people is wiser now. People understand because they done been through some stuff. But perhaps they then bumped into somebody or had a connection or relationship with somebody who was manipulative or narcissistic. You never know. Dating itself is something all by itself. You know, that's a conversation for a later date. But what I'm saying is, you never know what somebody's previous experiences have been in respect to dating. Because there is no way for you to be a womanizer, a man eater, or a gold digger unless you've mastered a significant level of dating. You mastered a significant level of dating. This is how you even in rooms with, especially when it come to gold diggers. Y'all women who operate in that kind of way, y'all have mastered a certain level of dating, because this is how y'all get in rooms with these professional men. This is how you end up hanging out with them, being able to talk to them, pick their brain, give them, exchange phone numbers with them. All of that. You wouldn't be in those rooms if nobody taught you nothing. Whether it been yourself or somebody else gave you some game. But it's a certain skill that I believe that these type of people possess in order for them to be able to operate in that way. Some people would say, oh, it's savvy. Some people may feel like, yeah, you dead wrong. It's manipulative. It's narcissistic. It's borderline abuse. Some people will definitely say it's borderline abuse. Because what would happen between you and this person and the connection if they didn't have the things that you liked them for in the first place? What would happen? There wouldn't be no connection. You wouldn't call them, you wouldn't text them, you wouldn't want to hang up, none of that. Because they're not giving in to the things that you want them to. So I think that you got to be mindful with that too. You got to consider these things. You got to be like, okay, I'm going into this thing blind. Because every time you connect with somebody and try to date them or see where things could go, after a certain age, you should not be allowing nobody to tell you, let's just see where things go. No, absolutely not. That's an uncertain person right there. They finna waste your damn time. Especially if you agree to it. Oh yeah, they finna waste your damn time. Because there's no reason for them to commit or even attempt or try or any of that. Because you've already gave them a way out. You've already let them know, like, listen, unless it's this, then I don't care. So you have to be careful. You have to consider what other people have been through previously and experiences with the opposite sex. You have to. And I know that it's like, damn, that's just one more thing I got to add to my pot of what it takes in order to date or anything nowadays. But I promise you, man, if you don't start creating boundaries and a safe space within your own skin, you subject to a whole lot of stuff. You subject to a whole lot of stuff. Because the moment, this is what I learned about men. The moment that they see you vulnerable or that there is a slight little weakness in you, the people who possess these type of characteristics that we discussing, those are the type of people that they would pursue. Okay? Because they already know that there is a way in for them to be able to operate in the way in which they want. Again, low self-esteem, no boundaries, that type of thing. Oh you a womanizer in a gold digger's playground. I'm here to tell you. I'm sorry, you just are. And it just makes the experience of dating that much more harder and complicated because you never know what somebody's real intentions is. You could come to the table genuine as ever. Hey, I'm coming to you like this, and and it does not guarantee that that person is going to reciprocate what you issuing or dishing out. I talked about this in the last episode because this is a continuation to the conversation that you better set up some type of test trial when you dating. And that is to protect you and your time and your peace. Okay? I stand on it. I live by it. I don't care if nobody agree with it, like it, whatever. I don't care. It helps me keep my head on straight. Because a lot of times when we dating out here, it's a distraction anyway. Okay? So like if you got certain stuff going on in your life and you trying to date too, dating can be viewed as a distraction. And you have to be careful. You have to be mindful. You have to be paying attention. You got to prioritize what's important. Dating or what you got going on. And I'm not saying don't date. I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply saying make sure that you prioritize the things that's important in your life. So then you don't get too caught up in a distraction like dating. Because you got to be able to multitask. Especially when you successful and you got stuff going on. You can't just be out here willy-nilly. No, you got too much to lose. So you got to be real careful. So I think it's stupid for you to not set up a safety vest for yourself. Also, put a vetting system in place. Stop just, hey, listen. Put a vetting system in place. Sift through the people that you actually engaging and connecting with. so that you can eliminate how much time is being wasted. You know what you want, what you're looking for, what you like, what you don't like. You know that already. This vetting system that you put in is going to help you avoid womanizers, man eaters, gold diggers, leeches. It's gonna help you. It's definitely going to help you. I promise you it's going to help you. It has saved me a lot of time, energy, and effort with dealing with foolishness, okay? Because a person will get laid on thick, they'll make it sound good and all this stuff. They'll be, woo. Next thing you know, months then went by, you like, damn, the time going by fast. And then you start, because we talked about this too, the honeymoon phase when you're dating for more than 6 months. From beginning to the 6-month period. It is a honeymoon phase. And it may be long, it may last longer than that. It may be shorter than that. I'm simply saying it exists. Be mindful, because eventually you're gonna fall back down to earth. And you get in whatever little cloud you was riding on where you like, oh, I just love this person, they can't do no wrong. Reality is going to set in. That euphoria is gonna wear off. And you're gonna be like, because it's normal human nature for us to be observant after a certain point. I'm simply saying make sure that that point is sooner than later. The vetting process is going to protect you. We also talked about rejection. I feel like that's a thing now. I plan on doing an episode on it. Make sure y'all join me and stay tuned for future episodes. But I feel like we need to do an episode on rejection. Because, whoa. I think that too many people have been told that rejection is a bad thing and that it's something that you should not experience. And I don't agree with that. I beg to differ. I think that if you never experience rejection, it's going to be hard when you finally do. Oh, it's going to feel like you've been ran over by a Mack truck, okay? It's going to feel like your heart has been broken in a million pieces. But I challenge you to look at it just a little bit differently, because that's your protection. I stand on that. I don't care how many times I done been rejected in my life. I stand on that. Because when I look back, I'm like, woo, I wonder what was on the other side of that. Not that I'm questioning God and him telling me, hey, listen, tell her no. Or whatever play was put down that made me have to feel rejection. I thank God for that. Yep. Because later on in life, when I thought back on the situation, I was like, woo, I'm sure I dodged a bullet. I'm positive. Just because stuff didn't work out with you and somebody don't mean y'all stop keeping up in touch and stuff like that. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. But I'm just saying, for example, if you do keep in touch with people, regardless to if your relationship worked or not, you can just see what's going on in their life. When you decided not to accept the opportunity to be engaged with them or be in a relationship with them or even see where it would go. That's why I said at a certain age, seeing where it goes is not, no. You better not let no man tell you nothing like that. That's an unsure man. That's a man that he ain't confident. You better not let him hit you with that. No, that's the punk fake. No, I need your words to match your effort and your action. This is how I'm going to know if what you saying to me is what it is. All that other stuff, it don't matter. We also have people come in and comment that first impressions are everything. Woo! Please keep that in mind. Please. And stop overlooking stuff. When you out dating and something don't feel right or something strike you and you see it and you paid attention, yeah, Stop questioning yourself. Don't do that. Because that's a narcissist and a manipulative person, they love that. For you to start questioning yourself, stuff when you start putting stuff together about somebody, you better not let them play with you like that. As my kids would say, play in your face. You better stop letting people do that. You better stop. Set some rules, set some standards, set some boundaries. And this ain't just for women, this for across the spectrum. Can we stop with the whole gender stuff? Oh, well, only women should be doing that, or only men should be doing that. No. We all should be doing this. Please understand that. We all should be setting stuff in place that protects us from things that mean us no good. Okay? So if don't nobody else tell it to you, I'm going to tell it to you. Protect your peace, protect your aura, protect your mental and emotional well-being. That's your responsibility. Go through what you gotta go through. I'm not saying that it ain't that is always easy. I'm not saying that. I'm not. But I'm simply saying if you put in certain things in place, the more you exercise them, the easier it becomes. It's like second nature. Whatever you don't use, you lose anyway. So how much of yourself are you willing to lose when it comes to trying to date somebody or figure them out or let them figure you out? Is you gonna let like one experience, one or two or a couple experiences stop you from putting yourself out there? I ain't saying don't heal your hurt. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying don't close yourself and your heart off to dating, to love, because I don't care what I go through. I'm going to still keep telling myself that I deserve love, I deserve peace, I deserve happiness. I know these things. I know these things. And the more I feed myself what I need to feed myself so that I keep my frequency on a certain level. Because you can't avoid this. Who you are or who you're aspiring to be or become is who you gonna attract. Let me say it again. Who you are or who you are becoming is who you gonna attract. Stop thinking, oh yeah, I'm going out here and I'm just winging it. I'm just meeting people and I'm for everybody. No, you don't want to be for everybody anyway. And you don't want everybody to be for you. Those standards, those boundaries, that's going to protect you. That vetting system, that's going to keep you from being in the wrong company. Okay? And let me be clear. It's a masterminds out here. With respect to gold digging, man eating womanizers. Oh, these are some professionals. They've been doing it for a long time. They've been doing it for a long time. So if you unfamiliar and you never experienced it, I'm telling you, boy, you better start paying attention. You better start watching how people move, what stuff they be saying, the stuff they be doing. You better watch their behaviors. Cause they're gonna tell you everything you need to know about them or who they pretending to be. Cause a person, let me make sure you understand this. A person can only be who they want to be, or who they wish they was. Let me fix that. Who they wish they was for so long. Okay? Let me repeat that. People can only wear a mask and pretend to be who they wish they was for so long. That mask gonna fall off, baby. It gonna fall off? Yeah. It sure is. The question is you gonna stick around long enough to see it? Because this is why I say have a test trial put in place. Because within that test trial, I say anywhere between 30 and 45 days. No more than 60 is a nice test trial for you put in place for yourself. That's a good window for you to assess and analyze this person based off of the information you was able to collect within that time frame. I think that's a wonderful test trial to put in place for yourself. Wonderful one, yeah. Because what happens is over time people get comfortable. And this is why I said that the mask gonna come off. Because the more you keep playing your position, okay? The more you keep playing your position, because it ain't no reason to bring no alarm or nothing to the situation. No. You letting them let their hair down. You letting them take their coat off. You letting them get comfortable. You letting them take their shoes off. You letting them get comfortable. Yeah. I want you to get comfortable so I can see what I need to see about you. Because a lot of times people, you don't know the real them until they start getting comfortable anyway. Don't let that go over your head. I'm not talking about who they showed up as. I'm telling you who they really is. You're not going to see that till they get comfortable anyway. And you also have to keep in mind, no matter how long you've known a person or how many questions you done asked them or how much stuff they done shared about their life, you're never going to really know all of them. You're never going to know. I promise you. You're never going to know all of them. You're going to know what they want you to know or what they willing to share. That's all you can really, and I don't like to say expect, but really, that's all you really can expect from somebody. Outside of that, they don't owe you nothing else. They owe you honesty, sure, but that's if they're an honest person. Who's to say that they an honest person and that they tell the truth? So see, sometimes we be expecting certain stuff from certain people and they don't even have it. They don't possess it. They may have never. Now we look foolish because we expecting certain things from them. That's why I don't put expectations on nobody when I'm dating. At all. And I put boundaries and standards in place. I put a vetting system and a test trial in place. I don't put no expectations on nobody. Because I feel like what happens is people who possess womanizing, man-eating, gold digger characteristics and traits, they'll just try to live up to whatever expectation you gave. Okay? And you just giving them a stage to play on in your face. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just real talk. You giving them the stage and the curtain and the audience and everything for them to play in your face. So if you don't like that type of stuff, if that ain't the type of time you on or into, I suggest that you hear what I'm saying and start applying the stuff that I'm telling you about. So that you can protect yourself from wasting your time, from somebody potentially harming you, from a person manipulating you into thinking something different. You can just eliminate all that. Because it's going to be certain things that you're going to learn once you start putting the things that I'm talking about in place where you're going to be like, nope, flag on the play. For real. You're going to be like, flag on the play, hold up. Because we as women, when stuff don't be adding up, boy, oh boy, we won't let it go. I'm serious. We won't let it go. We still trying to figure out this fraction. We won't let it go. We know it don't make sense. And that math ain't mathing, but I'm telling you, man, it's just the way we wired. We want to know why and what and who and when. We just won't let it go. But I challenge you the quickest way to eliminate all of that stuff in your mind where you playing mental ping pong with yourself and you questioning who you is and why you do these things you do. Just don't. Just don't. Don't do that to yourself. It's self-sabotaging and it's poisonous. Be you. Let people be them. Judge accordingly. Move accordingly. Deal accordingly, or don't. It's okay. It's not a bad thing for you to have standards and boundaries. I will keep repeating that. Because those who don't have none, they get walked on, they get mistreated, they get dogged, they get controlled, they get manipulated, they get played, they get used, they get abused. I mean, I could go on and on as if they the welcome mat. You don't never want to be the welcome mat. That's not a good place to be in no situation where a person just has no respect for you. I also think that's huge too. With respect to the topic, maybe those people don't have no respect for themselves. So why would they respect anybody that they deal with? And maybe that's part of the behavior. I lack respect for myself. So everybody I encounter, I'm gonna have a problem with giving respect to them. Because I don't respect myself. Is it possible that that's a characteristic of a womanizer and a man eater or gold digger? I wouldn't be surprised. Get real with yourself, okay? I'm going to, end this episode up here shortly, but get real with yourself first before you can have the expectation that anybody is going to be real with you. When was the last time you asked yourself a hard, transparent question and actually had the courage to answer it? Because you know yourself. Ain't nobody got to tell you nothing about yourself. You know yourself. You know yourself better than the world knows you. It's only one other person, whoever your higher authority is, that know you just as much as you know yourself. So I said that to say, stop expecting certain things for people that you won't even set an expectation for yourself for. You want somebody to be honest with you, but yet you keep lying to yourself. You want somebody to not cheat, but yet you a cheater. You want somebody to respect you, but yet you disrespectful. You want somebody to listen, but all you do is talk. I can go on and on with what I'm saying. But when is the last time you actually got real with yourself? Like, where you like, dang, this who I am. When was the last time you looked yourself in the mirror and was like, I'm comfortable with what I see? Not what I look like. I'm comfortable with what I see. Because a lot of us just get in the mirror because we want to see what our outfit look like. We want to see if our face got anything on it. We want to see if we got any boogers in our nose. No, I'm not talking about that. When is the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror and you was comfortable with what you saw? Because that's what we talking about. You can't be mad at how nobody else moving until you get mad at yourself about the way you moving or not moving. Do you really care about yourself before you gonna want somebody to care for you? See, these is like hard little conversations that you gonna have to start having with yourself. That's why I said, do not let no man tell you that we gonna see how things go. We just gonna go with the flow. Don't you ever. No. And I ain't taking nothing away from women. Don't let none of these bras play with you, or I don't know if I'm ready. Okay, well, you ain't ready, then I'm gonna let you be. Because the last thing that you want when it comes to relationships or connections is something that feel forced or coerced or persuaded or something. You don't want that. You don't want that because you're gonna be constantly chasing that the whole entire relationship. That same thing. So it makes no sense. Meet people where they at. Let's just stay there with it. Just meet people where they at. And accept them for who they is and not who you want them to be. Because I'm one of them friends or one of them family members or associates that I don't care nothing about if your house dirty and you invite me over. I'm not about to judge you off of that. I'm not. If anything, I probably gonna help you clean up. So see, you also gotta know the people that you around, the company that you keeping, too. But all I said all of that to say that it starts with us. We cannot expect nothing from nobody that we not giving ourselves first. What you feeding yourself before you about to try to eat off somebody else's plate? What exactly are you feeding yourself on a daily basis? And I'm not talking about work. I'm talking about that actually nourishes your body as a whole. What are you doing? What you feeding it? What you eating? What you drinking? What kind of environments you in? What you watching? What you listening to? Because all of this stuff is going to play a major factor, a role in you getting to know you. I will say it again. I've said it in another episode. If the world individually just worked on themselves, the energy that would create across the globe, across the world, across the universe, it would probably be so powerful, man. But how do we get there? Where do we start? That's why I'm saying, like, people want somebody to hold their hand and walk them and do. You don't need that. You don't need that. Get out of that mindset. Don't nobody need to hold your hand. I give you, your boss give you a set of things he need done, you get it done, don't you? You don't try to take your boss through none of the stuff that you try to take other people through that's trying to help you. But you don't mind doing that to the people who not your boss. Get out of that mindset, that headspace. Get out of that. Let somebody pour into you, help you. Perhaps let somebody share with you what they see that you can't, or what they've been through that you haven't. What they experienced that you just now going through. Like, let life unravel the right way, man. I spent so many years of my life just keep trying to peel back some stuff, keep trying to open stuff up the way I want to open it. Boy, oh boy, man. So wondering, a real nut job from all the stuff that I intentionally caused to myself by not listening, not wanting nobody to give me no advice, not taking constructive criticism, not being able to keep my emotions intact and keep my mental on a swivel and all, man. And all it did was cost me time. All it did was delay stuff for me. Because that's what you're doing. When you decide that you don't want to work on yourself, it's all you're doing is delaying or preventing. Or better yet, stopping yourself from being able to get what's yours. Don't look for no healthy relationship with nobody until you start having one with yourself. That's my advice. You didn't ask for it, but I gave it to you. And that's even some advice I'm going to take for myself. We can't. It just don't work that way. You can't be looking for no relationship with nobody else to be solid and grow and be able to be built if you haven't done that with yourself first. You need to have a decent and healthy relationship with your insides first, with your internal being. Perhaps if that was everybody's focus individually, it wouldn't be no room for people to be womanizers and man eaters and gold diggers, because they wouldn't have the time. They wouldn't have the time or the capacity because they too busy trying to work on the stuff that they know they need to work on within themselves. Because all of us need to work on something within ourselves. There is not a person alive walking this earth that feel like I don't need to work on nothing. I'm straight the way I am. And if you is that person, stop being that person. You ain't gonna grow to save your life. You're stunning your growth by saying stupid stuff like that. Be willing. Be willing to focus on who and what the real issues at hand is. Because a lot of us is projecting stuff that's going on with us onto other people. Whether it be people we love or strangers. It don't matter, it's wrong. And we can argue and disagree about that on another day. But I'm telling you, it's wrong. You fix whatever is going on. Because the only reason why you being disrupted by other people that you come in contact with, because you're supposed to. We are mirrors of each other. I know that's harsh. A lot of people can't comprehend that. But I challenge you to try. Just to look at life just a little bit differently. You're not crossing nobody's path by chance. You crossed their path for a reason. It was something they were supposed to say. It was something they were supposed to do. It was something maybe perhaps y'all was supposed to do together. In this time. In this lifetime. On this plane. In this atmosphere. On this day. So don't never think that nothing is by chance. Is why I'm saying that. Take the time to do what's necessary for you, to give yourself what you need. Stop looking for that from other people. It's living in this world ass backwards is how I look at it. If you're expecting someone to give you something that you refuse to give yourself, it don't make sense to me. So take what resonates out of what we discussed tonight, man. Listen, it's Friday. We all know what happens on weekends for some people. Be careful out here. Check on your peoples. There's a lot going on. The weather is crazy. Be careful out there. Do something for yourself. Take care of somebody or do something for somebody this weekend. And I will see every last one of y'all who decides to pop in and join me on Tuesday at 11 a.m. for a new mini episode of Unspoken Truth. Again, I'm your host, Tanise. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Join the movement. We growing, okay? I appreciate all the likes, shares, comments. The people who follow me, who done told somebody about me. Y'all rock, man, for real. Because y'all the reason why I do this. I love y'all. Like I said, be careful. I will see y'all on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Until then, see y'all. Peace.